Yo, what's up? This is Shadow Rock and Profo Won of the Floor Gangs and Knucklehead Tribe,
And this is Jasoul from Eternal Style Crew and BTR Breaking.
and you're watching Gearheadz Breakcast, where we hack culture and movement. Nice Saturday evening, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. How you doing, Jay?
Good. Even better knowing that it's Thursday today. I'm doing great, man. You know, fighting the good fight over here. We got a lot of wins that's been going on for about a month in the Vegas Dirt Bowl, the Vegas Valley, but doing good, man. Really excited about the guests that we have on today. B-boy Floor Rock, but just catching up, man. How are you? How's your week been?
Good. Just had a little vacation out there. With my girl out there over in Raleigh, California. So it's got rejuvenated, refreshed. Now I'm back here, ready to like attack again. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta do that, right? You gotta rest and recovery and then attack again. How about you?
Rest? What's that? No, good, man. Again, yeah, just getting over these allergies here, prepping for this seminar that I have collaborating with Red Bull BC1. That's tomorrow.
And yeah, talk about that real quick.
No, it's so they're doing a cipher and Red Bull. It's actually kind of exciting. Mm-hmm. What I understand about this training camp campaign that they're doing is that every month they're going to bring in special guests to educate. They're going to bring in 2. So
okay,
I'm not gonna spill the beans on some of the names that's coming, but we're getting international people in town to kick it off. This is the first Red Bull Cypher in States. It's going to be me and Omar, OG Omar.
Right. Jive Turkeys MZK.
Yeah. Excited to meet him as well. I know he won the very first Red Bull ever,
right,
which is monumental. And
yeah, back in 2004.
Yeah, I know he has a youth program out in Texas as well. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that. I've been prepping. Had a little meeting with the boy Carl Paoli.
Right.
That went really well. Helping me organize my thoughts and the science, man. The science that we got going on, and putting it in a nice format that's simple, easy to digest, and gives everybody something to go home with.
There you go.
That's an hour and a half. It's tomorrow at District. Shout out to District Arts and Ronnie and
nice,
Carol. Yeah. They're offering it for free to the community.
Which is fresh.
Good. Yeah. So it's a free workshop from 6 p.m. to 7:30, and then Omar's is right after that.
So, well, hey, before we bring our guest, can you tell a little bit of our sponsor today?
Oh, for sure. So yeah, we have a CBD sponsor. He's been really taking care of us, and he actually donated money to 2 weeks ago's guest, Marek, who is the youth Olympic regional champion out here. Check out his GoFundMe, Breaking for Gold on GoFundMe. For those of you who still want to support, it's not too late. But yeah, he's been supporting us with what we're doing here and also supporting the community, even with things like that. So a very active member. And on top of that, CBD, man. I don't partake in any of the psychoactive recreational activities, but CBD, yeah, man, that they have good topicals and everything like that, and it's helping me with my training and keep going, man, staying strong with it. So yeah, check out zinworld.com if anyone's interested. Use our promo code. He will be around and a part of bigger things with what we're doing as we grow. On top of that, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube. And I don't know the dialogue for the bell, but there's a bell. You hit it.
Yep.
You get notifications. And again, guys, we're doing this every Thursday, not Saturday, bro.
Yeah.
Every Thursday.
Did I say Saturday? My bad. I was about.
I don't know what it is. I actually only know because of the workshop tomorrow. But
oh right, yeah.
Yeah, man. Other than that, I haven't really told very many people, but after the workshop, there's the Vegas Cypher, the Red Bull Cypher 1-on-1. And then I'll be driving out to relocate in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some live stuff. And what's good about what we're doing is it can be done satellite. So all this will continue for sure, man.
There you go, for sure.
So a lot going on.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, man, it's been a crazy year so far, and again, now it's jam. It seems like it's more than jam season. Like there's jams basically. Like this weekend is two things, right? There's Vegas, Red Bull. But at the same time, there's Breaking for Gold Orlando, Florida happening in this weekend too.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So next week we'll have obviously we'll review maybe the finals for each each jam. Maybe we'll do the finals for the Las Vegas Red Bull qualifier, and then we'll probably do a reaction and commentary to the Orlando Breaking for Gold. So next week's going to be a little bit busy with our stuff. We'll see if it's going to be pre-recorded or not. But even if it's not, even if it's live or pre-recorded, remember 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Gearheadz Breakcast right here. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest, the person of the hour, Mr. Flora Rock, one of the guys from the Vegas scene from the early '90s to the present time. One of the first that I know of, and if there's any arguments, and Flora Rock will know too. One of the first, one of the first b-boys to get sponsored and tour around the world with Tribal. What's up, Flora Rock? How you doing?
What's up? I'm good. Just
Yes,
kicking
sir.
Living life, bro. As long as I wake up, I'm good.
Yeah,
Life.
man. So just a little context. I know a lot of people in the heads that are in this team. They know who Florrock is. Obviously, the Tribal tours. Yeah, this stint with Rocksteady crew, legendary Rocksteady. I was personally highly influenced by Rocksteady myself, my style, my knowledge of hip hop in general. That was the era where they did panels. They educated you on everything, the elements. They put you up on game. It was a good era. Some would say the golden era, which we'll talk a little bit about that. And I know there's some debate about that as well. But Florrock. So I moved here. I actually first seen Florrock in Hawaii. They did a Rocksteady's Frenemies jam. He came down with Why Not, Crazy Legs, Ivan, B-Boy Ivan. And that's when I first met him. And then, a couple of years after I moved.
I met you at work, fool. Tell him the truth.
You met me at work.
I met you at Duke's. I met you at Duke's.
I was wearing that fresh Aloha
I
shirt.
met you at the jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys came to breakfast. Yeah, I was serving tables right by the beach, rocking a fresh Aloha shirt, and man, it was a surprise because I see these guys on tape, and I'm like, oh wow, like this is my habitat, this is my setting. We got legends in the house. It always brings a good energy, but there is a history to Rocksteady in Hawaii from back as well, which I'm sure Florrock knows. But yeah, so not to get too winded with my the context why we have Florrock here. I moved here in 2008, and he was in Rocksteady, and I was in Battleborn at the time, and we had some good exchanges. It was pretty much like us and them in the finals a lot. So Vegas had a interesting scene in that sense. The OGs, some of the up and coming b-boys like Battleborn, and yeah, I've seen Florrock at jams ever since. And yeah, man, it's awesome to know you, and really, really awesome to have you on this, man.
Thank you.
So I guess to start, yeah, man, I would love to know your history, kind of getting into breaking, and however you want to go with it, man. The first time you seen it. What inspired you?
Well, the first time I seen it was, it's got to be like 80, 85, 86. I mean, my brothers both did it. Like, one of my brothers was a popper, and then the other brother kind of dabbled with like footwork. He could do windmills and stuff, but he wasn't really the greatest b-boy. But that's how I learned about hip hop in general, was from my older brothers. Hip hop and punk rock. That's me. You know what I mean? Like straight up hip hop and punk rock. But as far as like when I started in 91, bro. Breaking. I started popping in like 87, 88. I was originally a popper first.
Okay.
For life. Yeah. I can boogaloo, strut, all that shit. I just don't. Not very often. Yeah, not very often.
Yeah, a lot of people from back then, you kind of did both, right? Like back in the day, you kind of played with both. But then, what made you gravitate to breaking versus popping?
Beat Street. Straight up Beat Street. Yeah, it was Beat Street. Like, I mean, but honestly, like I like just the battle scene in Beach Street. Everything else, I wasn't. Yeah, like I didn't like that movie. I honestly like Breaking better. I don't know why. Maybe it's because
Really?
the story, yeah, maybe the storyline to me was better.
Okay,
I don't know. I
word.
honestly liked it better, and it was in the West Coast, so
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah,
course
yeah.
I like that better. You know what I mean? It was just. I mean, I get Breaking came from New York, but it is what it is. I'm from the West Coast. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
vibe
I
towards
was
that
actually
more.
I was kicking it a little bit back. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Were you
Yeah,
finished? I
yeah.
was I was kicking it with you about a month back, and I called you an OG, and you're like, "No, I'm not OG. You're second gen." So you were
Yeah.
talking a little bit about Stingray, and let's start there. And we'd like to get your take on the history of Vegas break-in. Could be as long or as short as you
Well,
want.
kind of okay. We'll go to Stingray, but like the guy that brought it here was a guy named DJ Frankie, and Mr. Freeze is like our cool Herc, real life. Because Mr. Freeze came out here in the late '80s, probably in like '85, '86, and he was in this show called Splash. So Vegas is more influenced by New York as far as the breaking goes. I was gonna say breakdance, but you know what I'm saying? Like as far as the way we dance kind of more of a New York style because of Mr. Freeze. All right, and then there's people have been coming out here since forever, since the '80s. Booyah Tribe, Boogaloos, like I remember Sugar Pop. I remember seeing Sugar Pop at this place back in the day called the Paddle Wheel. The Paddle Wheel was another hotel back in the day, Debbie Reynolds or something like that. But I remember seeing Sugar Pop and Bruno, which was Taco, and then Hugo. I remember seeing them just kicking it and we're like popping and stuff. So that's where I like learned some certain things and seeing these people. But there have been dancers coming here since like the late '80s because of Mr. Freeze, bro. And then
Yeah, you'd see them at clubs.
Stingray. Hold on, go on.
You'd see them at clubs, or like where would you see
No,
them?
no, I was a kid, bro. In the
Yeah,
'80s, I was a kid. Yeah,
yeah. That's what I
we're
figured.
talking '80s. The Paddle Wheel was like a place, almost like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was like almost like a Chuck E. Cheese, but there were grown-ups there and teenagers and stuff that would go and kick it. Like there was a casino there, and then it's like hard to explain. It was just a place that people would go. You could go bowling and like certain things like that, So there was a lot of grown people there, and a lot of people went there. You know what I mean? So like there would be dancers there, and that's probably why Sugar Pop and all them used to go because they knew that the other dancers were there and they fucking go battle. You know what I mean? But as far as Stingray goes, from his history, what he told me, I know this part's true. I don't know about the rest, but I know they came from a crew. There was the first crew in Vegas was called City Break Force, and it was oh shit, that's me and Stingray. This is hilarious. See, that was me all little. Like, yeah. But
when was this right here? What year was this? Or how old were you?
it's got to be like 95, 96. I look like a teenager.
Yeah, you got that fresh.
Dang.
Look at
that. We were little kids.
That's
We were just
crazy.
joking. It was just an old clip. Yeah, we're just showing off our six packs and stuff. Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
We're just being crazy, little kids. But Stingray was from a crew called City Break Force. City Break Force was this guy named Breaking Mike, Stingray, Scooby, DJ Rob, and Scrappy and George and Darvin. Yeah. They were the original guys, and then the two crews broke off. So my old crew, Rock Skittle crew, and another crew called Bomb Squad, and then that's where we all like came about. It wasn't until I didn't meet Stingray until '95, bro. But like
Word.
we had heard stories. We had heard stories because we were the second generation of Rock Skittle crew. You know what I mean? Like Rock Skittle crew started in like he says '82, but that's when he started dancing. Rock Skittles, I believe, started in like '84, '85. You want to be real. Like it was like '84, '85 was when he started it in the garage on the east side. You know what I mean? Because Stingray's from the east side too. You know what I mean? And rock meant rock the floor. Skittles, because of Hawaii, it means footwork. So we were like rock footwork crew. Yeah, and then they put a C back in the day. Stingray put a C, but then when we started it, we put a K because we didn't want to be like Rock City. We wanted to be RSK, not RSC. But Stingray put like RSC originally. Yeah.
What was that? What year was?
He looked up to them. Those were his heroes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So how was the scene back in like in '91? Like how was it the Vegas scene? Was there a lot of
A bunch
b-boys?
of
Was it like
Filipino crews.
word?
It was like
Yeah,
a gang of Filipino crews. Yeah, no, for real. And
right.
a lot of our, honestly, a lot of our thing came from your place, from San
Bay Area.
Francisco in
Yep.
Hawaii,
Yeah.
because the videotapes that we got back then was Jugheadz and
Yep.
Rock Force, and
Yep.
I think the Air Force when they were in San Francisco visiting.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember seeing that tape. And then we had his thing too. We had the ABC Breakers and Funky Foot Rockers, and because we had Breaking Hawaii, the whole video, like all the competitions. We
Oh,
had it
okay.
all. Like, I finally found it on
84,
YouTube.
right?
You can find it on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is
Like,
the one in the gymnasium.
yeah,
Yeah, that one's
yeah, the white
crazy.
guy with the crazy glasses, and
Yeah.
yeah. But we had that tape, so that was like kind of like our inspirations and stuff. But yeah, I'd have to say it was Bay Area, and then because I knew about the Sidewalk Breakers too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because there was that guy
Sorry.
that did the air track before a lot of people.
Yeah,
And saying like,
this was the Chuck E. Cheese battle, right?
yeah, he did
Yeah.
he did air flare first, like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
the first time I seen it.
Yeah. Shout out to Sidewalk Breakers, Sean Ortiz,
Mhm.
Poe One was kind of down with them. Sidewalk, a lot of the original, the Floor Rockers from San Jose. They were the little brothers of Sidewalk. Yo, that's a rich history,
From
man.
San Jose, right? They were from
Yeah,
San Jose.
yeah, they were doing like if you see that video, like they're doing stacks back then, like 1985. These guys are doing stacks, Flare 90, 1985.
Mhm.
Like they were pretty advanced for like back then. I remember I showed Fleet Rock that video, and he was like, "Yo, this is '85." I was like, "Yeah." And it's like, "This is West Coast." I said, "Yeah, this is West Coast." If you see Sway from Renegades when he's dressed in the tights, he's like, "That's just like."
I met Sway
Yeah.
back in the '90s from Ivan.
Word. Yeah, that makes
came out
sense.
here-
Yeah, that makes
Ivan
sense.
came out here in the '90s, in like '95. That's
To
where a
do
lot of this stuff.
the show, right? He did like a
To do
Vegas show,
Special
right?
Freezes in Splash. Yeah.
Ah, okay, word.
The
Yeah,
Freezes in
yeah.
that song from like '80, like I swear it was like '86 to like the '90s, bro. To the
Damn,
late
really?
to the mid
Oh,
'90s.
shoot.
Yeah, he did that show for like a long time.
Damn.
And he was also a pantomime, like he was a mime too. Like he would do that in strip and do all
Right.
sorts of stuff. Freeze is like
Yeah.
the master of hustles, bro. Like Freeze was never broke. He was always doing something.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. That's
yeah,
dope.
Yeah.
So since you were watching a lot of West Coast stuff, right? Like none of us was really into footwork so much. So how did you get into like, because your footwork is like fast, clean. Like like if you ask Wick or Jazzy J, they were, we were more to like flare, windmill flare, and flare 90. But when I seen you, the first time I seen you was like a Summit 2 tape or Summit 3, and fast footwork, dope form, dope top rock. How did you get into that foundation? Oh, there goes the sidewalk right there. That's the sidewalk. Oh, man, this fool Jay's pulling it out.
Yo, is it worth showing? It's kind of cloudy, yeah.
Yeah, this is.
I can see it. It's still dope.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, right.
I'm still getting excited like I did when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, this is so dope. And their top rock was nasty. Like it was crazy to watch back then. Because a lot of these things were just wow.
Next level. Back in '85. The guy went later on in the show and the battle, the guy that's wearing the Karate Kid bandana, that's J Rock's older brother, Money B.
Oh, J Rock?
Wow. Yeah, J Rock from Solomon's. Yeah, that's his older brother. But he looked like the thing is the story for this tape for us, because we got in the '90s too, right? We thought it was New York City Breakers and Rocksteady versus Sidewalk. But the truth of the story is they're both different sidewalks that are battling each other. And that's why I was like the thing is Money B had like Crazy Legs type of body. So we thought like, oh, everyone got advanced. Like, yo, Crazy Legs could do flare, windmill flare now. And Ken Swift could do like head swipes. And we just thought that because the way they were dressed. But then, they were just really good at like just kind of like taking some of the moves and like flipping it. And yeah, someone does a spindle air flare, right? Like one of the guys, I think is Cyclone. Dude, the story of this tape is only a few crews in the Bay Area had this tape. And I'll tell you who the crews were. Renegades and Rock Force. So that's why their power, like Elmer from Rock Force, that's why their power was so advanced, because we had this tape before anyone else did.
Well, we got it because our DJ, I don't know, you know who Presto is? DJ Presto One?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Presto's originally from the Bay, so like his cousin gave us the tape. So that's how we got this tape. We got Jugheadz, we got Renegade Rockers, we got Ivan when he was little and he called himself Flip Man.
Yeah, I was yeah.
So
It's
we got all
crazy.
those tapes.
Yeah,
And
those
then,
tapes, those tapes. I'll tell you the truth. So the one that Caesar and Air Force first went to the Bay, I was at that jam.
Yeah.
I was at
I
that
believe
jam.
it.
Yeah, I was there when Ivan, when they called him Flip Man, where Raccoon messed up his knee. I was there too.
Oh yeah, he was popping. He broke his knee.
Yeah.
He broke his leg again. He broke his leg. I remember that shit.
Hey, you know what I said? He broke his leg again? That's me and my brother.
Oh yeah,
That's us. That's us at the tape. He broke his leg again. That's me and Rob.
I would never pop if I dislocated my leg like that. That should have.
Nah, he did it. So the story of that was we were battling. We went to Sacramento because he broke his leg the first time. We went to Sacramento and we were battling Corell from Jughead, and he was there. And then Raccoon was popping. Then he popped his knee out, so we had to take him to the hospital after the jam, and then like they snapped it back in. So that was a reoccurring thing. So then that was like the first performance of Rock Force together as a crew, second generation Rock Force. It was called R&R. The jam was called R&R. That was like 1992. And, that was the first time that like my side of like my boys that were in Rock Force and the other side, which was this other crew called MON and Rugrats, they became Rock Force 2. And then that was the first performance. And yeah, that's where, and then the whole jam stopped because he popped his knee out.
It was like crazy. I was like, yeah. But a lot of our stuff came from that. Like even the way we dressed was kind of the Bay, because a lot of us had flares, and so a lot of the Filipinos had just the little bangs. It was like weird.
Yeah, we had the shaved head. We had the rebel look, right? We had the shaved head with the bangs in the front.
Yeah, that was the Filipinos. Like me, I always had like a pompadour. I was bald-headed because I was just cholo and shit. Yeah, but I was real. Like I'm from the east side. I was from a neighborhood and everything. But I started breaking, and then didn't really have to do all that. I could go wherever I wanted to now. You know what I mean? But the real motherfuckers knew that I was from that block and I was from that hood. I'm bona fide. But let's get back to where we were at.
Yeah, man. So you made a comment earlier within that right there when I pulled up that clip of Sidewalk. You said their top rocks were nice. Obviously, their power. Flo mentioned.
Yeah, but that's not where I got it from. Like where I got my footwork from was it was probably just the guys I was hanging around with. There was Filipino dudes. It was Romel, and it was Presto. It was another guy named Fraggle Rock, and it was my boy Cool Breeze. Like the original Rock Skittles. A lot of them, like there was a guy named Kicker. We called him Kicker because he had dope footwork. Yeah, that's what we called him, Kicker. That was Jason. He's a Salvadorian dude. And then there was a guy named Eddie, and he had the dope hand moves and everything. He's one of my biggest heroes too. He taught me how to do jackhammers first.
Sick.
You know what I mean? And then they taught me flare. I honestly thank God for this. Like I tried straight leg flares once, and I did 3. So God bless me. You know what I mean? God bless me with that.
Yo, that's crazy.
Because I couldn't do open leg flares, but I tried it and I did 3. And my legs were dragging, but everybody was like, "Oh my God!" And then I was like, I practiced it for like 2 months, and I got it down, and that's how I got the straight leg flares. I didn't go to gymnastics. I didn't do that. I just practiced like every day.
Did you have footwork?
That's how I got the straight leg flare. What?
My bad. Did you have footwork before that move? Before straight leg flares?
We honestly got like really good at footwork because it was a bunch of us that had good footwork, but we honestly got schooled by a crew from San Diego. They were called bboy Lions, Unforgettable Styles. It was Chalo, Day One, like a couple others. They actually battled the Delivery Boys, Cross's crew at like bboy Summit too. Yeah,
Delivery Boys. That's Rainin and Cross right there.
Yeah, Rainin and Cross and that dude Donnie. Yeah, but they came out here. Because back then, people would talk shit on. I don't know how they would get the phone number, but they talk shit and leave you a message. And we were about it. We were like, "Yo, just come to the house then. Like we can catch a fade or we can battle." You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So they came over and then they saw that we had good power moves because Rock Skittles had really good power moves because there was a couple guys that had flare 90 flare. We were like you guys. We wanted to be like Air Force, or we wanted to be powerful like what we saw. We wanted flare 90 flare. We wanted ALO 1990. We wanted everything. You know, we weren't like in Beat Street. What I noticed was there was one guy that did every move. Like one guy did windmills, one guy did turtles, one guy did, you know, this. And now we wanted to be like everything. We wanted to have long combos, and because there was no air tracks and double aerials back then, you know. Well, there was, but I never saw double aerials until the 90s. But we wanted to be like that, and then these dudes did footwork. And then they showed us the B-Boy Summit 1 video, and people were getting props for footwork. So we were like, you know, maybe we should practice up on that, you know what I mean? Because we had pretty good footwork because we watched, like, you know, who were the two guys that dressed up in the suits? Not suits, but they were in denim jeans, two Filipino cats. And I'm talking to you, yeah, two Filipino cats from the Bay. They had Levi's on, white Pumas, and the white shirts, and they were doing footwork and they were performing too. They were from the Bay.
Was it the 80s or 90s?
It was the 90s. That was like some of the first. What? No, they were breaking, but they were dressed in denim, like they were dressed in Levi's or Lee jeans. I don't know, probably 501s, and then they had like white fucking button-down shirts and Pumas on.
Damn, I got.
They looked like the dudes from Beat Street, the two black guys, but they were Asians. You know what I mean? They were two Filipino dudes. One, they were really lanky and tall, but they both did CCs and they would do some crazy footwork. I don't know. They were dope though.
You stumping me right now.
The reason I brought it up is because that's like some of the basis of our footwork. You know what I mean? Because that was the first time we saw the CC and we saw the 6-step and the 4-step. Because I did 4 steps more.
Right.
Wicked actually schooled me in the Vegas show, Manhattan, out here on the 6-step.
Yeah.
And I showed him before. But he was doing the 6-step. He was doing 6-step because of Kenny and all that. Because remember, Wicked was a power move.
I know he lived with Freeze too, right? That was his roommate. So I think he learned a lot from Mr. Freeze as far as footwork. Because like when he left in 97 or 98, you know, he was full power. Then he came back. It's like he was like a different person. You know what I'm saying? Because now he's like rocking like straight up footwork and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, learning. He learned to rock and everything. Like just like me, we had the same teachers, except for he had Kenny and stuff. But like I had I had Legs, Wiggles, you know, Mr. Freeze, because we all learned together. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Wick were both coming up around the same time.
Word.
And we were both in that show together. We were both in the show called Manhattan. It was when New York first opened.
Yeah,
there was a show in it. It was a Vegas show in it, and it was like the Boogaloos and some of Rocksteady crew, and then Style Elements too. You know, because it was Remind, and then it's a couple people there. It was like Risa, Honey Rockwell, Remind. Yeah.
Flowmaster. I think Flowmaster was in there too, right?
Well, Flow was in it too. But mostly the Boogaloos and stuff. It was Sugar Pop, Jazzy J. Hoppin' Pete, rest in peace, Skeeter Rabbit. You know what I mean? They were all in the show together. They schooled me. A lot of them schooled me on a lot of things, just life and in general, and just dancing. You know what I mean? I learned a lot from Mr. Wiggles. A lot.
Word, yeah.
A lot of my top line comes from Mr. Wiggles. Yes.
Nice.
A lot of my stuff, because Wiggles was like my boy. He lived on the east side. We found out he lived on the east side, and it was like crazy. I was like there every day. Every chance I could be there, I was there. I mean, he schooled me on life and just everything. Wiggs is my boy. Wiggs actually got me my first job just in retail. You know what I mean? Like real life. Yeah, Wiggs is always like, he put me on a lot of stuff. So Mr. Freeze got me an RSC.
Oh, word. Okay, so that's the question I was going to lead to. So is that what led to the Tribal Tour? Like, how did that come about? Like being sponsored by Tribal?
By Tribal on my own.
Okay, word. All right, let's hear this story.
Sponsored by Tribal on my own, though. I had went to the B-Boy Summit, and I believe it was 95, 96. I don't remember which one. And there used to be a clothing convention out here. It was called the Magic. I think it's still out here. It's called Magic Show and Trade now. But it was the Magic Convention, and we were sponsored by this other company, the Rock Skittles. And we were walking around the streetwear area, and the Tribal video was playing. And then I was on it. So I went up to the owner, and I was like, yo, you going to hook me up or what? I mean, you're using me, you know what I'm saying? And they said they were going to hook me up. I never talked to them again. I saw them at the B-Boy Summit, and they saw me get down and break, like for real. And he asked me to go on tour with him. Like he asked me to go to Japan. I thought he was full of shit. I'm being real. I never like change up my story. I thought he was full of shit. And then I got like all these clothes and a ticket with an itinerary and everything. And I was like, oh shit, he's not full of shit. You know what I mean? And then I went to Japan, and that was 96.
Damn, that's
96,
crazy.
that summer. Yeah, it was like that summer. And then I was on the tour with I think the first one I went alone. It was me, these other two dancers called Gridlock. They were like hip hop dancers, and they used to do the old hip hop routines with the two guys, and they jump over each other and do like old school like hip hop dances and shit.
Right.
And they did capoeira, and they broke a little bit, you know what I mean? And they rapped. I went with them and Psycho Realm, Delinquent Habits, Funk Dubious.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was more of like a Latin rap tour type shit. Yeah, it was pretty dope.
Ah, okay.
And then the second trip, I went with Crazy Legs and Crumbs. And that was like 3 months later. And that was the first time I met you. Same year, 96.
96, okay.
But so you were the first guy. You're the first official b-boy that was like doing it.
No.
No?
Because Easy Rock had went before me.
Oh, okay, word.
Easy Rock was put on to that. Because I remember I have the first catalog, and the first catalog was Easy was in it, Legs was in it, and then I think Wiggles. Wiggles was like first sponsored by them too. And it was like all the writers from San Diego, was like Zodak and like all their homies. Because I know it was Severe, Bobby, and then all those guys, they all did it together in somebody's garage in San Diego. So I remember about the tribe, the way it came about. But the first b-boy to go on tour, I believe, was Easy Rock. I don't want to take credit for that. No. Because I got put on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It was like I was just on the second or third tours. You know what I mean? But Easy Rock was already doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Easy Rock. You know, he was a dope. He's one of my inspirations too, for sure.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask you, like, you're talking Top Rock. You're a well-rounded b-boy, and I'm trying to think in the '90s, like, who else was well-rounded? And obviously, Easy Rock comes to mind. Was there anybody else in the States?
There's several in New York, but like they just didn't get out. You know what I'm saying? But there were like a lot of dope b-boys, but there was like. During that era, it was like skateboarding, you know what I mean? It was just like the elite. You got to get put on like a team, you know what I mean? And it was getting hard because it was weird. Like one year it was like me, and then these guys, and then it was like me, Legs, and then Crumbs, and then the next year it was like Crumbs, Wicked, and then this person, and then it just got bigger. And then it was Monkey. I went on tour with Moy. It was a couple times I went on trips with like different people. It was like I said, you got to be part of the elite. It was like hard to get in that circle at that time. But there were plenty of dope b-boys. Wherever I went like the Southwest, and there was always one guy that was me, in that city. You know what I'm saying? There's always the dope cat in that city, wherever you go. Like, and that's the dude I wanted to battle. Whoever was the top dude, I wanted to test myself. If I got waxed, I got waxed. You know what I mean? But like, I was gonna battle that dude who's getting the most claps, and because he's the one there, and I want to, be remembered. Because that's what it was about to me, street cred. I didn't care about no damn competition. I wanted to be in the ciphers. I wanted to be remembered for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was for the love. Like, it was supposed to be. Like, it wasn't about getting paid at that time or competition or stretching and shit. It was just like, we try to get raw and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cross the line, you cut me off in a song, it's on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like more raw back then. It was like kind of more beefy, but it was just raw. It was just everybody was so passionate for it.
Let me ask you a question, Florak. So Manhattan, that show brought b-boys from all around together. The tribal tour brought b-boys together. What's the benefit of that, do you think? And how did you see everyone influence each other? Was that going on, or?
Oh, of course. Like, we all build it together. You know what I mean? But I thank Tribal for everything because, like, I was a hood kid and I was into some bad stuff at that time, and I got to go to Japan. You know what I mean? It was like I was outside of my box now. I was no longer in the hood where I was from. I got to go to Japan. And then from there, I got to go to Europe. And then from there, I went to, like, different places. Because I've been to all the continents except for Antarctica, but who wants to go there? It's cold. But I'm just saying, like, I've been like pretty much everywhere, bro. I've been to Iraq. I've been to like all over the Middle East. I've been all over Europe. I've been all over Asia. I've been to Malaysia, China, everywhere, bro. You could think. I've been to the Philippines. I've been to Guam.
Have you been to Africa?
Yeah, I've been to Africa before, Johannesburg. I've been to Algeria, South Africa, North Africa, all that stuff. Yeah,
Sick, man.
I've been to a lot of places in my life. I had a good life, bro. It was dope, and it was all from dancing. So yeah, with that, we all built it, and we all got to go somewhere from it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
of course, it helped. We all influenced one another. It was dope. Like a lot of us are still friends from those trips. You know what I'm saying? I knew a lot of people from that stuff, and I learned a lot of people's like about their wherever their city they were from. You know what I mean? Because what was crazy to me was Crumbs was from here.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Crumbs was born in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And then they moved to Panama, and then he went to Modesto. Yeah.
Interesting.
On them long flights to some place you talk a long time, you know what I mean? Because we was going from like LA to Japan, and that's like mad hours. It was like 12 hours when we sat next to each other. So you got to try to, keep preoccupied, So like we learned a lot about one another that way. Like me and Crumb started like we were on the first trips with Tribe though.
That's dope.
He's a dope cat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yo, how did traveling? You mentioned you came from the hood, right? You had a rough upbringing. Traveling the world and going to that laundry list right there of countries and places. How did that change your perspective on things? Because
it just showed me that the world was bigger than what I thought. It was bigger than that, neighborhood that you're from, It like broadened everything. It like made everything, I don't know, it just made me like wiser, I would say. You know what I mean? Because I experienced more in life. You know what I mean? It was exciting. It was dope. I want that feeling back. Like the last jam I went to that I had that was the Rock Force jam. The first time I had that feeling again. That last one that was out here, yeah, that shit was ridiculous. I was nervous.
I
was nervous and anxious at the same time again, like when I was a kid. And there was like 5 or 6 ciphers going on. I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the essence again. Like it made me feel like excited. My hands got all clammy. I got nervous. And it was dope. It was dope. I was like, yes.
Felt alive, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I felt alive again. I was like, yes. This is
let's talk about that. Let's talk about how, like, back then you like you said, like, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Like the first freestyle session really was, no one cared about the competition. It was like, dude, it was like, yo, Crumbs is in that cipher, Flow Master's in that cipher, Flow Rock's in that cipher. Yo, Ivan just did a flip over Soul Control. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first.
Remember?
Yeah.
He did a
front flip.
I went to the first one too. He did a flip to get into the circle, and I was like, what? And then that was the first time I saw the air flares so many times.
Yeah. That was the first time. Right.
Yeah, because there was a cat out here that had it. Like he did one. He did flare, air flare, windmill. Like everybody. What? Oh, that's Aldo. Name? Aldo was my partner. Aldo was in Rocksteady too. They called him Quiet Riot, but Aldo was like
that's sick.
Power Move King. There was 2 dope dudes like in Vegas. It was Aldo and Jamar. Jamar was from Full Force.
He's from Hawaii, right? Jamar?
Yeah, he's from Hawaii.
Yo,
Jamar was he was dope in power moves too. Those 2 were the best in the power moves. A lot of people thought it was me, and I was like, nah. There was 2 other guys that were like ridiculous. Flare 90, flare, Halo 90. Like Aldo could do anything. You ask him to try, he'll do it the first time. He used to piss me off, bro. Because the rest of us would be practicing, and Aldo would try it once and he'd be dope. And he looked Filipino, but he wasn't. He was Ecuadorian and Chinese.
Oh, word.
Yeah, but he was like he was like my best friend since we were little and shit. He grew up on the east side too. Yeah, but he was from New York, but he wasn't from New York. He was born in California, and then they moved to New York, and then moved back to Vegas. Yeah,
crazy.
So
yeah, he's still around somewhere. I see him. He works for Anheuser-Busch. He stocks beers and shit. And he's just got a real life. He's a dad. You know what I mean?
Right,
we got to do what we got to do. We're not like, some b-boys that just never do anything. Like we had to grow up. I mean, we're not as lucky as everybody else. We had to do real lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
I was saying, I can see people making that, putting you in the category of a powerhead or the top powerhead in Vegas. You were doing footwork, but you're making all of it. You're maintaining momentum with it. So when you look at power, at what it really is, it's to be able to overcome resistance with speed. So the speed from I'll pull it up again. The speed that you're hitting this at, people are doing flares, they're doing the transitions and all that, which is technically power, but this pull it up again. The speed that you're hitting this at, people are doing flares, they're doing the transitions and all that. Can you guys hear that reverb?
Twice. That's crazy.
The speed that you're hitting this at. Oh, okay. Could you guys hear that? That was weird.
Nobody likes their own voice, bro.
Oh no, I love my own voice. I sing all the time.
Oh, okay. He does like it.
I had it anyway, yeah. I could see that, like you being categorized up there with that. But I wanted to ask you, who is Cool Breeze or something Breeze? There's a power head.
Cool Breeze was he was in my crew, and then he was like one of my he like lived in my house basically. He kind of came from a bad home like the rest of us. But check it out. I was from the hood, but I had a family structure. Like my parents are still together.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Out of all of us, my parents are still together. So we had dinner at this certain time, and my mom and dad took care of a lot of the dudes from the neighborhood. You didn't have a place to stay, you could stay at my house. If you didn't have no food, you could come at 5 o'clock every day. My mom's cooking dinner. You know what I mean? Like we lived in the hood, but we had a family structure, so everybody wanted to be around that. Because my mom is still a very giving person, and she still looks out for people to this day. And my father too. Like they're very like. I'm not gonna say I had like a bad childhood. We grew up in the hood, but again, like we had a family structure. My parents just worked hard. And we were always out. You know what I mean? But they were taking care of business. There was 5 of us. You know what I mean? I had three older brothers, and I have an older sister. You know what I mean? And I'm the youngest. But they handled business, and they both like hustled and worked hard and took care of us. But they were never really home. You know what I mean? So we were in the streets, and it was the hood, and our hood was a real neighborhood. There was a gang shit going on and everything. But these guys all came from the neighborhood, and a lot of them were single parents, or their parents were drug addicts, or so they would come stay. So Cool Breeze used to stay at my house. Like I shared clothes with this dude. He wore same size shoes. We did everything together. We like brothers. We still like brothers. We still talk all the time. He's a graphic designer. He's called Bobby Bless now. But yeah, he was a dope power mover, and he moved to Houston.
Okay, so
Rock Skittles is in Houston too. They never talk about it. I don't know why Moy and them never talk about it. But we were out there too. We used to battle a crew called Chaos. And my ass flew out to fucking Houston and waxed a lot of them fools from Houston, Texas' ass. I don't care. I got the footage. I got the receipts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got the receipts where I waxed a lot of them fools out there. And a lot of them would be stealing moves, and they don't be giving me credit, but it's okay. Houston's got their own history, and they're another dope place that was like advanced in power moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Little John just posted, Little John from Havoc Coral, he just posted footage of him doing an air flare in 98. I was like, yo, I didn't know you had that back then.
They were doing like air flare to flare and like 1.5s in the 90s, bro. Like it was crazy.
But
there was like Little John, there was a guy named Boy, there was a guy named Alex. There was a lot of dope cats. I have like footage, bro, of like them, because when I went out there, I was like, I was on it. I mean, I was like, yo, this is crazy. And like, but we battled against them guys, and Cool Breeze was already out there, and he was like doing air tracks in the 90s. Yeah, because he came out from here. Yeah.
Little John said Cool Breeze from Rock Skittles out of Vegas was the first ever he seen do the air flare or air track like that. And, I don't know what weight that holds, because I know like a lot was going on around then. It was probably like the mid 90s, right? That's how I heard of his name. But since I've been here, I've never heard of him until Little John telling me about him.
Cool Breeze is, like I said, he's like one of my best friends. He's my Puerto Rican brother. You know what I mean? But he grew up in the hood. So like his Spanish and the way he dressed, he wasn't like Puerto Rican from New York. He's Puerto Rican from the West Coast, and he dressed like a Mexican. He wore Nike Cortez, long socks, Dickies. You know what I mean? He slicked his hair back when he had hair. Now he's bald. But I'm like, yeah, Cool Breeze was, and he was an MC too, but he was mostly Cool Breeze is a great artist, graffiti, and he was a b-boy. And now he's just a graphic artist, and he's a dad. You know what I'm saying? Again, we all had to grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't necessarily quit, but we're not going to do it like we did, because we have to live real lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Who was the first to see air flare?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happened?
Who was the first you seen do that? Like an air flare?
Air tracks?
Yeah, tracks. Yeah.
Air tracks was Aldo from out here.
Aldo?
Aldo was the first one to land it. And he did it. I have the footage. It was in 1995. He did Superman to 1990, and he pushed off, and he did a 4 rotation to windmill. And he was like, "Oh shit, did you see that?" We were all
95.
Like, yeah, it was like 95. I have the footage. I have the footage,
wow.
And it was an over rotation, and he caught it. And we were like, "Holy shit!" We were like shocked, and then we went home and he practiced it, and he had that shit. So we were waiting to battle full force, and you know what I'm saying? We were waiting to battle them fools, and it was crazy. Yo, J-Mar did it too, though. It was like 96, 95, 96. He did it too.
Wow.
Maybe he said Aldo practiced it, and he tried it too. Because both of those dudes were like neck and neck with power moves. Like if Aldo got it, J-Mar got it the next week. You know what I mean? He was like, nah, he's not going to one-up me. You know, because they were so... They didn't have no beef, but they had their little subtle beef. You know what I mean? They were like competitive with one another. They motivated each other. You know what I'm saying? And my dude was Ronnie's older brother.
Okay, word. Oh,
yeah,
all right,
Ronnie's
word.
older brother was... Ronnie and me didn't have beef. Like, he was way younger than me, and I didn't care. Like, but me and his brother were like the same age, and we were both like mad, similar styles and competitive, you know, with one another. He was my rival for a little bit, but we never had like serious beef. It wasn't like crazy shit. Like
yeah. No, it just keeps. That's one thing. That's what makes a scene hot, right? It's not that you're the king. It's that you're getting pushed by someone else, like, you know, steel sharpens steel, right? Like, for real.
I didn't want that dude to one up me ever. Like, I was like, no, this dude's not gonna burn me now.
Right.
And if I heard that he could do it, I would practice the same move and get it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not gonna one up me. He's not gonna one up me.
So now we're talking about, you know, like, that's how it was back in the day. Steel sharpens steel. It was more like phone calls, meet me at the garage, or maybe meet me at the mall, or maybe run into him at some like little house party, whatever, whatnot.
We met full force in the mall.
Word, see? That's what I'm saying.
And then we battled them right there a little bit. We like teased it, and then we did like some Beat Street shit because there was some jam coming up. And we're like, yo, The Shining? And we're like, yeah, The Shining. And then we met them, and that was our battle. It's on YouTube. Rock Skittles was full force.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. See, and that was when we battled them dudes. It's like 4 parts. That shit's long. Cool Breeze is on there too. Like, every one of our original members is on there. It was dope. We had 2 girls. We had Cheerio, and then we had these 2 twins. And then, like, it's weird. Full Force stole like a lot of our members because a lot of our members went to them. I told Ronnie that. We were laughing about it the other day. And we were like, I was like, yo, you just like a Rock Skittle thief. You know what I mean? Like, you just stole all our members. Yeah, because that dude, crazy. Danny, even Richie, you know, Richie Madge is in Full Force.
Yeah.
He was in our crew first.
Oh, word.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he was in Rock Skittles first. Like, he can say what he wants. I know the truth. Even Rock from Full Force was in our crew first.
Word. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you know what I mean? It was like, stop taking our members. Or, well, no, Ronnie says, you know, maybe we were too rough. You know what I mean? Because we were kind of like, you know, cocky and rough kids. You know, we were hood. Right. You know, maybe they needed that other environment. You know what I mean? Because Ronnie and them were like way more family oriented, nice dudes. You know what I mean? And we were all like had something to prove because we were hungry ghetto kids. You know,
right?
Cholos. So we were all cholos.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. So now we're talking about, like, this is how it used to be, right? And I grew up in that era too. You know, pre DVD, pre YouTube, pre competition, right? It was like pre competition. So what do you think about the scene now? Segueing to the scene now, what's something like you would like to maybe change, or what's something that you do like? Like, so let's talk about how you feel about right now.
The whole scene is dope. A lot of the kids, everybody's good. It's crazy. Like, everybody's good. Like, it's not like before. I wish y'all stop with the tapping the floor and jocking your homie prematurely. But as far as I like it now. Like, you can actually make a living at the dance. Like, it was way harder back in the day. Now, like, you can actually go somewhere. I mean, like that kid he was talking about earlier, he's going to go to the Olympics. That's like dope. I'm totally not against the Olympics. I like that whole scene. I like everything about it. I don't care if you keep it street. Why? You want it to stay a secret? You don't want people to succeed in life? You want to keep your little whatever history, memories, and stay relevant? And your little bitty thing? No, dog. I want this shit to be global. I want everybody to be like you know, make something of yourself with it. You know what I mean? It changed my life. I mean, I'm happy if these kids can go and do what I did. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like that back then. And like I don't know, it's just better to me. To me, it's way better. I wish the beef would come back a little bit. Just the beef part. You know what I mean? I wish there were still crews that didn't like each other. You know, when they saw each other, it was on as soon as they got there. And I wish there wasn't community practices. Our crew never practiced with other crews. We didn't do that. That was a no-no. It's like gangbanging. You don't kick it with the other fucking rival gang, dog. Like, you don't be perpetrating. You don't false flag. You know what I mean? You can't kick it with, you know, these guys this day and be with us this day. No, it wasn't about that. I just wish that part of it came back. But other than that, I think the scene is dope. I think what everybody's doing with the kids is dope. You know what I mean? I don't preach my style is the best or anybody's style is the best. I think everybody should just stay a student and just, you know, keep learning. You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of cats, when I was growing up, like, kind of brainwashed me. And I feel that way now. You know what I mean? They lied to me and they kind of manipulated me in my mind. Like a lot of these narcissists, b-boys, no, real life. Like a lot of these older cats are straight egomaniac liars, bro. And they want you to follow their bullshit. And I'm not about that. When I teach the people my foundation and my style. But I'm like, yo, don't dance just like me. Dance like you, dog. However, I showed you the steps, but do it your way. You know, like Bruce Lee, he had Wing Chun, right? But then he learned the other styles, and then he made his own, right? I think that's the best formula of dance. Like, because there's no correct way to break, bro. It's a form of expression, homie. Like, don't let these other cats lie to you, bro. No. We're doing this to stay out of trouble is what the point is. I'm like trying to teach you to like do something better with your life, but like I'm not gonna teach you to be like me. I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be like you, dog. Like, don't let the OGs lie to you, bro. They're full of shit. Like, I'm sorry. A lot of them are full of shit and do a lot of other grimy stuff, and I'm just not with it, and I'm not gonna follow their bullshit lies no more, bro. I will call every one of them out and tell them like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I live on the east side of Vegas. You can come find me, bro. I'm not afraid. I'm an OG now too. You know what I'm saying? I said that because I'm an OG, a real OG. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm saying, like, I am no longer the little guy that you can punk anymore, bro. Like, I'm your peer now, homie. You know, I'm 43 years old. You're not gonna tell me I was there. You lied, and you lied to me about this. And then when I did my own research, it was like, wow. And they just lie on each other, bro. Like, they'll tell you a story, and then they'll exaggerate the truth to make their shit better. This guy will say this about, and they're supposed to be boys. And it was just like, wow. It was just like a crazy reality check to me. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, man.
None of these guys are cool with each other. It's weird. I'm not trying to get negative. I'm just, that's really how I feel about it. You know what I mean? It was like, a lot of these fools be lying, bro. And they lie about history, and then they got exposed. I'm glad the kids do that. Like, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's your receipts? Yo, I'm glad. That part is dope. Call these motherfuckers out because they're full of shit, bro. They really are. Like, a lot of them are full of it, bro. Like, you're lying. You're lying about history that didn't really happen, bro. Quit faking funk, bro. Like, make it happen. Be real. Like, okay, I did this and this and this, and I was the one that brought this. But don't be like, I was the best. Or like, I was the first. No, bro. There were other people you got inspired by, and just cut that lying bullshit out, bro. Like,
yeah.
Mikey Ice is dope. He's always sending, I mean, whatever he did with other people, I mean, some people don't like him, but I'm just saying, like, he shows videos from like the 30s and 40s, and there were people doing dance moves before these people were doing dance moves. I mean, breaking came from capoeira. Did it come from Northern Soul? Did it come from, you know what I'm saying? Where did it come from? Like, I don't really know. These guys are saying this, and the OGs are saying this, and the rockers say this, and it's just a dance, bro. Who cares?
Yeah, when it comes to truth, you know
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well, we have a consensus when it comes to truth, right? So that's good that you're speaking up about this, and even everything you just said, even before that, about authenticity. But hearing it from multiple people is how we know the best truth. We'll never really know, right, exactly where it came from. But receipts is a great way to kind of do that.
Receipts, but you also have to go to, like, it's like the Bible, bro. You got to go to the beginning and see which one's real, bro. That shit got rewritten and written and written and written. It's like any story from any OG. They'll tell you something. You can look back on every one of my stories. It never changed not once, bro. This is really how it went down. I never proclaimed to be anything different. It's always the same. I don't be faking it, bro. Like, and I've listened to different stories, and then they get called out, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Nah, bro, like, it's never supposed to happen that way, bro. Like, if you weren't lying in the first place, then, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I think that's the thing is right now too. What's dope is that us being in our 40s, since we're the kind of the new elders, like we all have a different like agenda. We're not trying, you know what I mean? Like if you look at Wick, you look at me, look at you, look at Flo, you look at Poe. All of us are trying not to be like, oh, I did this first. We're more like, yo, we're students in the game too. This is how I learned it, and I think like that's what I like about this era is like none of us are trying to be like that crab in the barrel type stuff as far as like sharing history and sharing knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We're more like we're more open to be like, yo, you're gonna learn your way, but this is the way I did it. Take it, flip it, whatever, whatnot. Versus like, yeah, you're right. A lot of the OGs like, I was the best, and this is what happened, and then everything you just said. Oh, nah, but you were doing this. Oh well, well.
It is like, yo, you just lying. You just start catching it. Now that I'm older, I be seeing their lies, and I'm just like, yo, I can't believe this. I was a part of a whole crew that was just full of craziness. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying. I was in RSC, and I remember seeing a lot of stuff that was just, wow.
It's easy to adopt a central mind, right? When you're in a crew, especially with egomaniacs, right?
Rocksteady was full of just egomaniacs, and Legs would pick from each crew in different cities and take the best dude and put him down with us and expect us all to get along. Right. If you got like fucking 12 prima donnas, we're not going to get along, bro. We're all the best in our city, and you put us all together. We're not a crew. We're a dance team. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Rocksteady was back then. It was like a dance team. He picked and put us all in one room and expected us all to get along, and it's not going to happen. Because we're all thinking we're all alphas, and we're all thinking we're the best, and it was just a lot of bad judgment. I think it was a dope crew and it was a dope era, but it was just bad judgment.
Word. So now segue. So I noticed you're in Street Masters now, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Kid Freeze. How did you get into Street Masters? Because they're mostly in the East Coast right now. They're mostly like Florida and New York.
Street Masters from the East Coast. I went to the Rocksteady reunion, the last one. And some ill stuff happened. Like, I'll be real about it. They were kind of alienating me. Not at first, but they were like the last one I went to, they alienated me a little bit. Not everyone, not the younger guys, but the older cats were acting funny to me. And I know it was Legs. I don't give a fuck. Legs did it for some reason. And I still don't know why, and I really don't care because I don't talk to them no more. You know what I'm saying? But they acted funny because I showed up with the Street Masters.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Because my boy Camacho, Chris Camacho, rest in peace, he was friends with Paranoia and the other George. Yeah, with other George, Elmo.
Yeah.
And they were friends, so they picked us up from the airport in Jersey. You know what I mean? And that's where we were staying, in Jersey. Well, it's cheaper to fly into Jersey than it is to fly into the other parts of New York, yeah.
Right.
Just take the PATH train. We just take the train to the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we showed up with them, and Legs was acting funny. They even made me pay to get in. Yeah, they made me pay to get in. So I was just like, all right, this is already a funny situation.
Oh,
and then when they introduced everybody on the stage, they didn't let me go on stage. And I was just like, okay, it's like that. Well, fuck you guys in. You know what I mean? That's real. That's really what happened. And Street Masters took me around, took me to barbecues, treated me like a crew and like a family. And then after that, I asked them to get down.
Oh, word.
I hung out with them all weekend. I asked them to get down. I go, you guys are a crew. I feel like you guys are actually my friends.
Right.
And they call me, check on me, and those are my boys. We've been friends since then. I was friends with Paranoia and something for years, though. I've been friends with Paranoia for years, bro, since like first time I went to New York in like the 90s. You know what I mean? Like I've been friends with him since the late 90s, 98, 99. You know what I mean? But they were from Domestic Apes at that time.
Yeah.
And then they became Street Masters later. But I was friends with him for a long time. Like him, Junie, and all those dudes were like the homies when I went to New York. Those were my New York friends. You know what I mean? Abby Girl, those were my New York friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jules.
Yeah, Jules.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lady Jules, because she was she lived in New York at the time, but she lived in Philly too, and she's from Colorado. But yeah, me and Jules is like man tight. Me and Jules are tight to this day. We like homies for like life. Like that's like my soul sister in the circle. You know what I mean? Like the homie for life.
Yeah.
But that's how I got down. Those dudes took me around and they showed me the city, and we hung out.
So
we went to the park, we barbecued, kicked it. Nobody had their cell phones. We just built it. And we're friends, bro.
That's dope.
Those dudes took me under they treated me like family, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be part of a crew again.
Right.
Like I was in Rock Skittles. Those dudes in Rock Skittles are my real friends. They're still my friends to this day. You know what I mean? Those are my boys. Those are the guys I grew up with that are like my brothers. Like I call any one of them right now and they'll come through. If I get into some fucking shit, they come through. If I'm short on my rent, they will try to help me. You know what I mean? Those are my friends. That's what a crew is supposed to be. It's supposed to be camaraderie. It's like a gang. It's like those are your people. You know what I mean? Those are the guys you run to when you break up with your girl. You know what I mean? Like
right.
the homies you call, and that's what a crew's all about. It's supposed to be like a.
That's dope. That's dope. I really like Street Master style too. The original Street Masters, Pee Wee Rock, Stiff Rock. These guys, the guys from Florida, obviously Kid Freeze. Shout out to your international homies like Uno. That's my boy too. Uno, C Rock in Spain. Like man, I love you. That's dope that you're down with them, man.
Yeah, a lot of people that I was inspired by with the Miami Cats were from that crew. So because it was Soul and Teal was down, and you know what I mean. And Paps is down, you know what I'm saying. And Flea was down, you know what I'm saying. And Bina's still down, but she's in the other crew, but she's still in Street Masters, They all came from that crew. I wanted to be from another legendary crew. You know what I mean? And they're another legendary crew,
100.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to be down with the legendary crew too. And I like those guys. Those guys are all dope. And,
Pop's killing it right now. You know what I mean?
He's just out here.
Yeah. I think he's going to be out here in Sacramento this weekend. I think there's a battle.
You'll see that guy.
Yeah, man. That's dope, bro. And your style fits in with them too, straight up, right? Like love footwork, love these little transitions. You know what I'm saying? Like
and just how they're aggressive. How they're aggressive is what I liked about them too. When I remember ciphering with the Miami Cats and just how they ran the circle, and you almost had to fight each other to get in the circle. I like that. I like that kind of energy, like with the dancing. Like you got to be aggressive. Yeah, those guys are definitely like they're real. It was really valid. So yeah.
All right. So
that's why I got done with them. They were dope.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to Street Masters, bro. So Jay, you got we're about at that hour time. You got any last questions for Floor Rock?
Yeah, I guess I have a ton of questions. But he is the homie. I got his number, but we'll try and get through this quick. Do you have an athletic background, like before breaking? Because again, like one of the things that stands out and why people confuse you with a power head, your power's nasty, is because you're able to move fast, and speed is one of the characteristics of physical performance. So did you have a background in athletics before breaking?
Not really. The reason I'm fast is because of Ivan in Jungle Music.
Oh shit! Going to the raves. That's it.
And there wasn't really a hip hop scene in Vegas, like at the time. Like in the '90s, it was more like Rebels, and then raves, like the Candy Ravers, and then they played drum and bass in Jungle, and that's why I break fast, bro. And Ivan, and I practice with Ivan all the time. Ivan taught me to drive, bro. Real life.
Oh, shit. Crazy.
Ivan taught me how to drive a car. Like me and him are like mad tight to this day. We have we had crazy memories together. Ivan's my boy. You know what I mean? But he inspired me a lot, like how to be explosive and how to be fast like that. So the reason I break fast is because of Ivan. And
crazy.
Because of Jungle Music. The jungle and drum and bass music was a little more faster. So we wanted to stay on that beat. So that's why I was fast. Because I was really fast and off to the races. I wasn't on beat until Wiggle schooled me and Wicked schooled me. I was off to the races. I was just a fast b-boy. It's
because of electro too, right? If you think about all the music we were listening to, like the freestyle and the electro, it's all fast, right?
Another thing, like we didn't break to them fucking 70s disco breaks.
We didn't.
Street jams, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Street jams, Tour de France, like all those murder rock, like Rocket. Like I broke to real electro breaks. That shit didn't happen until the late '90s, early 2000s. Don't let these others out of you.
It was after like Summit. Like once Summit happened, we kind of got upped on like, oh, this is like the stuff that used to
they
dance
said that
to.
was
You
the
know
original way, but really
Right.
was it? Because when I look at all the old breaking videos from my videos from the 80s,
Electro.
They were breaking to electro.
Yeah.
Or fucking Cameo. Or funk music. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Funk music or Freak Show. That one song that Poppin' Taco was breaking to, you know, Freak Show on the dance floor or whatever.
Yeah.
I watch old footage of Stingray and they were breaking to electro shit. They were not breaking to It Just Begun and the Mexican Apache. No.
That was the late. That was like I think after Summit when there was like when they started having the panels and like, yo, this is like, you know, this is what we dance to, and they would get the DJs like, you know what I'm saying? So the DJs that kind of would play that stuff, and they're like, all right, then we kind of like got adapted to it. Because we didn't. I remember when Shortcut played like James Brown, we're like, what's this? You know what I mean? Like we didn't, you know what I mean? Like it was like Concrete Rockers and Rock Force. And I remember Shortcut was the only one playing like funk, and we were like, there's no Debbie Deb? Well, I don't get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all good.
What's your favorite track? If you can name a couple or a few, just
to break to
all-time breaks. Yeah, could be electro.
Breaks?
Whatever.
Well, electro will always be Clear. I like Clear. That's one of my favorite songs. Clear, Boogie Down Bronx. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was one of my. I would get so hyped when that song would come on. Yeah, that yeah. Caesar reminded me of Little Caesar and Willpower.
Oh, word, yeah.
That video, and I was like, yo, that song was fucking dope. You know what I mean? And, I liked the show from Dougie Fresh and
okay.
You know, like that part and children's stories from what's his name? Slick Rick. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Well, to the breaks, my favorite break is shit. There's a lot, bro.
List them.
That one. It goes, well, it's all right. I can't remember. It's called Cinema, Bra. I think it's called, or Bro. I can't remember the name of the track. There's that one. There's a lot of eclectic shit. I like to break to Led Zeppelin, the Immigrant Song. I like, you know, Looking Out My Window from Tom Jones. I like Ann Saxton, You're Losing Me. That's another dope fucking like break. It's not like something common that everybody breaks to. You know what I mean? I like When from Jimmy Castor Bunch instead of you know, It Just Begun. I like When. So it goes When. That's the song right there. You know, I like B-side tracks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Something that's not played all the time. But real life, I can't lie. My favorite song is Begging.
Oh, okay, word. Frankie Valli.
Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite. I'm Italian too, so I'm Italian Mexican. Into the doo-wop shit.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Into the doo-wop shit. My
there
dad's some doo-wop shit, so that's like real life. Like that's one of my favorite tracks, like always. My son plays the shit out of it.
Right.
Like, every version, the rock version, all of them. Like, oh my God. Yeah.
So what? Okay, so here's a real quick question too. If there was a person that you would want to battle, name that person you would want to battle. Oh, Jigs, New York.
But that's the guy I would want to battle. Jigs.
Nice. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Dope top rock.
Yeah.
He's New York. He's raw. I know he's not gonna come at me like a bitch. You know what I mean? He's just gonna be raw. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be like,
that's dope.
We'll have love at the end. But that's the only guy.
That's Jigs. Fresh. That's fresh, man.
Question. Pro, I was waiting for that question.
I always ask that question. I say, who's the guy that you would battle?
Hold on, there's a part B.
Junior Jigs. I respect the shit out of him. You know, and his crew. You know what I mean? His crew is like another dope crew. Yeah, Spring Beans. Yeah, I love Jigs. He's a dope dude. Bro, one of my favorites. But like that would be a guy. Like I think he would test me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's dope.
A good chess match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Both top rock. Both got good footwork. It'd be fun. You know what I'm saying? He's got turtles too. It would be fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It would be fun, bro. It would be real fun. I respect the shit out of him.
I can see that.
I respect the shit out of him. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Paranoia asked me that a while back. He's like, who would you battle? I go, Jigs. I said, he's like, oh shit, you said Jigs. I was like, Junior Jigs. Big up to Jigs.
Yes, sir.
Make it happen. Or Wick.
Oh, word.
Oh, okay.
Or Wick too. I don't want to battle Wick. He's one of my best friends, but I would battle Wick. Sure.
Word.
I respect the shit out of Wick.
Word.
That's my boy, though.
Yo, so
Right, Jay?
so Pro's part B to that is internationally. Who internationally would you want to battle?
We're from like Europe or something?
Yeah, Europe, Asia. Is anybody that you respect and you think would give you a good
I
battle?
respect a lot of people. I just don't remember everybody's name. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't really like follow too many people like that anymore. Like a lot of them retired. Right?
Even like 90s, like Battle Squad.
I didn't want nothing to do with them. I respected them dudes. Those are like my heroes, dog. That's Maurizio. That's Emilio. Like Emilio and me, like I like a lot of things that Emilio did.
Yo, Emilio, bro.
You know I did Gremlin too. I did the
Gremlin. Yeah.
But Emilio did it too. And then the tapes, our 2 tapes, we both did it at the same time. I never saw Emilio and met him until 1995, 96.
Oh, word.
So it's like a debate. So I tell people, I did it in the United States first. He did it in Europe first. You know what I mean? That's my argument. I'll leave it at that. I'm good with it. You know, I'm not like going to say, you know, he did it too, because he did a similar move. I did the same move. But I never saw the tapes.
Did you think about it before you did it, or you just stumbled across it? You're like,
I couldn't do 1990s. Aldo could do 1990s. I couldn't do them. So I tried to do the hand move. Like I wanted to do like a one-arm. What do you guys call them? Monkeys?
Gorillas, monkeys.
Yeah, monkey walks. Yeah, we call them a polios. That's what we used to call them, because when you got polio,
from
your legs
what from breaking? Yeah, because the guy from breaking. The guy who had no legs and shit.
Yeah, handyman, right?
Handyman. Yeah.
Polio. So we call it polio. Yeah, so because your legs couldn't move. So I wanted to do a one-handed polio, and I did a full rotation. And Aldo's I tried again. And then I did it again. Then I did the straight leg one. Then I did the grab my ankle one. It came from there. No, it was like 1991, 92.
Yeah.
We did it.
That
was the first time I did it. And then I started doing it out of my straight leg flares. You know what I mean? I was going and then finish it with it. So that's kind of how that happened. But it was really because I couldn't do 1990s.
That's intelligence right there, isn't it? You took something and you're like, okay, my body's, or whatever the reason.
I can do it now, but at the time I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, but and Aldo could do. See, like Aldo had the air moves, I had the ground moves. You know, I had every walk pretty much except for boomerangs. I couldn't do the ones where your legs are out and you got your hands in them. I couldn't do those, but I could do Yodas, I could do Buddhas, I could do dead mans like caveman. I could not caveman like Cujo and Ace. You know what I mean? Like I saw those guys do it and I practiced it. You know what I mean? Like Cujo, I saw Cujo in the 90s, like 95, 96 at the B-Boy Summits. And I was like, yo, I was tripping on how good his walks were. You know what I mean? And he was crazy with his hair and everything. Actually, when I saw Cujo, he had short hair.
Right. He was still on his hippie stage. Yeah, shout out to Master Movements. That's what I'm saying. Ace and Ace, Cujo.
Well, dude, like my first battle, I tell everybody first time I got waxed was a dude named Jash.
Oh, Josh from Assorted Flavors.
He was the first one to ever. He was the first one to ever wax me. And he was in Master Movements, or what crew was he from? Original. He was from
101. He was down with like Brick and them, like Stunts original crew.
Well, first time I saw him, we drove out to Bakersfield and we battled Master Movements, and he was down with them.
Oh,
it was Tyrell. It was Ace. It was like Tyrell Martinez.
Spidey. Yeah. Flair Bolt. Dude, I remember. His original crew was called BIS. I remember that.
I got the video. Because our crew also, Rock Skittles also went to Bakersfield.
Word.
We had some members that moved from here to Bakersfield.
Oh, okay.
So we got videos from that too. Like it was crazy. It was like the central coast and shit right there.
You remember Spidey? Jay, you remember Spidey?
With the rollerblades?
Yeah, but he was breaking for a long time, bro. He was light, man. Light. You know what I'm saying? With his power, he was light.
Yeah.
He was a little guy. He was a very little guy. Yeah, I remember. Black and Mexican or something, right?
Yeah.
Manuel Martinez. Yeah.
Crazy, man.
But that's the first time I learned those moves. I started seeing these guys and I was like, wow. And Jash put it on me. There you go. That's where I wanted to get great footwork because Josh had every time I went down, he's like, I got you. And he did another set. He's like, I got you. That shit ate me up for fucking months, bro. I was so angry. I hated that dude. I got him back though. I got him back at the B-Boy Summer. I chased him around the whole gym. He was like, just leave me alone. I just kept chasing him in the circles. I was like, nah, I got you. I kept saying that. I got you. I got you. Because I practiced and got better. I love that dude though. Like Henry was like, he's a dope artist, dope tattoo artist, and he's
who is this?
He's like a big inspiration to me.
Josh, he was like a young flow master. Yeah. He was like a young flow master, right?
Like flow and Easy. He broke like Easy Rock too. And Easy Rock was coming up.
He was dope. He was like, he had like a short I seen him like Summit tapes, Radiotron tapes. And after that, I never got to meet him. You know what I'm saying? But I was just like, yo, I like that kid. You know what I'm saying? Like Stuntman is really cool with him. Stuntman is really cool with Josh. So Stuntman even still talks to him to this day and stuff. So he's a tattoo artist now. But he was dope. Him and Drunk was pretty dope too. I like Drunk too.
Drunk, I guess the homie from Seventh Letter, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the homie. I did some shows with him during the whole tribal thing. Because there used to be a show called the ASR. ASR was like the magic convention. We used to go to ASR.
It was like skating, action sports retailer. Yeah, action sports retailer. Yeah.
I did some shows with Drunk. Drunk's a cool dude. Yeah, I like that guy. He had the afro.
Yeah.
And the glasses. I remember.
Glasses. Yep.
Yeah, he's a crazy dude. Like I remember that cat. He was dope in the cypher.
Yeah, before we wrap it up, I wanted to ask you, who do you think out of the states right here is representing the culture, the art form the best? Because we have Olympics right around the corner.
Right now?
Yeah.
Texas is, that's where all the jams are kind of right now. It's like central. Like we got like a headquarters too in Las Vegas, but where you're going to Houston, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like headquarters right now for like all the b-boy scene and everything right now.
Yeah, shout out
during the pandemic, that was the only place that had jams. Yeah, so like that's Break Life, right? That's like Moy and them, right?
Yeah, Break Free. Yeah.
But those dudes were that's like where I would say the culture mostly is, as far as that goes.
Dope,
I mean, but everybody's gonna have time now because now everything's it's lifted over here. I don't know about everywhere else. Over here we don't have to wear a mask. We don't have to really do anything no more. Like, you know what I mean? It's like just on the planes and stuff.
Right.
Like even in a restaurant, you can go outside anywhere. Nobody's wearing no mask or anything. I pretty much think we all got it in Las Vegas. I got it twice. No, I swear I got that shit twice. First time I got it, it was bad. Second time it was like I didn't even know. They did a random at work, and then they told me I was positive. And I was like, I had to whatchamacallit for 5 days, and it was just like whatever.
Right?
Yeah. It was like whatever. But the first time it sucked. Really, that was pretty bad. I was pretty sick for a couple days. Lost my sense of taste and smell and all that shit. Yeah. That's
the worst part of it right there, man.
Yeah. You had it too?
No. Yeah, that's positive, but I never lost the.
Oh, then you had the second one, or the third one. Like, I had the second one, and then I had the third one too. So it's gonna happen, bro. Like you're gonna get it regardless. And just take your vitamins and do your thing. Just try to stay healthy. But
yeah, man,
it's not really that bad. You know what I'm saying? But it's bad for people that got like underlying ailments. I lost a lot of homies. I lost like 6 homies that I grew up with, like gangbang homies. They all died from that shit. You know what I mean? It was like crazy. Even one of our original members of Rock Skittles, my homie Rocket, he died from it last year.
Oh, wow.
But he had underlying ailments. He had like some autoimmune something. Yeah. And he was always sick. But rest in peace, Rocket. But yeah, like it's real. It's really real. People are saying some scam. No, that shit's real. I got it. That shit sucked. I was out for a little bit. I was out for I was scared for like a week. Like I was like, I hope this shit happens. You know what I mean? It gets away. And it finally got better. And it got better. Yeah.
You made it out. It gets a little more personal and real when people are around you, right? We have all the
it was crazy. A lot of my circle died. I was like tripping. I was like, wow. But I'm sober now, and I've been sober for like 3 years, and I don't smoke cigarettes in 7 years, and that's probably, I eat better. You know what I mean? That's probably what saved me. And then as soon as I got sick, I killed the vitamins. Like I still kill the vitamins now. But like I killed them. I took A, B, C, D, K, like all of them, and I was eating fruits, and I was like, nah. And then I went outside and I worked out.
Right.
I was running to keep my lungs acclimated. I was like, I'm not gonna die from a cold, bro. I'm not gonna die from a
Right.
cold. I willed myself back to health, bro. I was like, nah,
There you go.
I'm not gonna just sit
There
here
you
and
go.
die. Bro. No, I got a
There
kid.
you
I
go.
got a son. I want to see the little motherfucker grow up. Nah, it was like I
Right.
wasn't going out like that. I was like, nope. You know what I mean?
There it
So it's
is.
like I think people die when they're ready. That's how I
Right.
feel about it. Like people die when they're like, it's done.
Right.
You know, they're like they're tired and they're like, okay, it can happen.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, as long as you stay busy. Wiggles always tells me this to this day, but he's been telling me it since I was 17. He said, stay busy. Wiggles is always like, stay busy. Yeah, he's like, stay busy. Or he says, get busy living or get busy dying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Right.
as long as you stay busy and healthy and active, you'll live a long time, bro. You know, and try to like not do crazy shit. Like, you can drink every now and again, but control the drink. Don't let it control you, homie. That's
There you
all.
go.
Yeah, that's real life.
Yeah. What's so before we wrap up, is there any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to Street Masters, Paranoia, Nina, Lee, what's it called? I forgot his name. I said him, the other George. Elmo is the homie. Troll, Pop, Bambi. Because there's a little guy in our crew. We call him Bambi. I don't know why, but they call him Bambi. He's dope though. He's a dope B-boy. No, he's dope. And then everybody from Street Masters, Monte Cristo, and everybody. Jay Soul, thank you for having me on here.
Yes, sir.
Profo. How's your bro? We didn't even get into that. How's your brother?
He's just making music and doing his thing.
Just making music? Yeah.
Yeah, doing his thing.
I met you at, I was going to get to that. I met you with V, right? That was the first time I met you. I mean, I see you.
Yeah. I would see you all the time, but when we broke bread, we had dinner. Yeah, it was with V. It was for Vegas, Vegas Shakedown. Yeah,
we ate a dinner together.
Yep.
I was like,
yeah, it was dope.
no, but I seen you in the circles from back in the day.
Same. That's what I'm saying. Same.
Yeah, because you had the footwork cat and you were fast too.
Thank you, man.
You know what I mean? You was fast too. Oh, you were red.
Yeah. Yep.
Northern Cali shit. I remember.
It's funny.
I remember
Hell
as a
yeah.
kid. Mm-hmm.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for going on, man. It's been dope, man.
Thank you for having me, yo.
Yeah, man. You broke down a lot of history. Your perspective. That shit is fresh, man. It needs to be out there.
Yeah, Flora, thank you so much, man. Take care, and I'll be in touch. I'll be back and forth from Houston and Vegas, and yeah, man, we appreciate you, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Take care, bro.
All right, dude. Dope interview, man. A lot of gems right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of gems. What'd you think so far? What stood out to you, Jay?
Man, just how intelligent he is. Honestly, like, you know, my outsider's perspective, I don't know him that well, but just seeing him at jams, again, I've been in Vegas for 14 years, and he was that kind of street guy. He'd crip walk, or he would do his East Side dance in his top rock before he would. I knew him from battling him, and just seeing him at jams and all these like funk nights that they have downtown, and hearing him talk. Even like we didn't get any of it on this episode, but in the pre-show that we do with our guests, he was talking about, hey, I got this memory right here. That's very intelligent, man. He was recalling all these things, the name of it, the date. That's important stuff, man. He's a very important person for our culture. Anybody reach out to him? Everybody reach out. Everybody follow him right here. Incredible guy to know. I mean, if you've seen his breaking up, follow him. He posts clips about himself as well. Ask him any questions. As you can see, he's a personable guy. He does come from an authentic standpoint, and that's one of the main things. Like, I need to process a lot of it that went down, and there are questions I didn't get to ask. But what he was talking about when he teaches, this is so important. He teaches his style, he teaches his moves, but he's like, hey, but hold on. You need to do it like you, right? And that explanation came after you spoke about, hey, we're in the YouTube era. We're in, this era where people easily cop things, and, people are starting to look alike. All the styles, it's not very distinguishable, It's all kind of growing to a central big stage style, essentially, right? And there's all the variables we spoke about in the past episodes about music and all that. But the psychology to that, right? Being able to learn something, right? It takes intelligence as well. Learn something, but do it your way. What's happening right now in the YouTube era is we're learning something and we're doing it verbatim. And we're like, psychologically, it takes the practitioner, the artist, off the hook. Hey, he does it. Shoot, let me do it. And if I get ridiculed for it, I'll just be like, yo, I got it from him. That's one of the things I heard recently. And there's an incredible short on that from Jordan Peterson. If you just type in authenticity and Jordan Peterson, he breaks it down really good, and it applies to our culture and artistry in general. But yeah, how he said that, yeah, that's how we're gonna maintain integrity and true value as we are moving forward. So I'm glad he shared that right there amongst all the gems that he dropped.
Yeah, for me it was talking about Aldo, and who was the other one that did the air flare early, like 95? Jamar, and then no, who's the guy that
Cool
that was
Breeze.
in Texas?
Cool Breeze.
Cool Breeze, dude. That, see, to me, like the first time I saw it was bboy Ivan. So to kind of hear it, like, you know, like, I mean, there's the guy in Europe named Paulo. Storm talks about him back in like '93, but
yeah,
you know, but to hear it from him, and he knew that's the one thing that was like, whoa, this is '95 they're doing that, and it's like, yeah, and the way he described it, he was going for a windmill 90 and actually over rotated. I was like, that makes sense, dude. Like, just to kind of do that. I heard Float and Chino did it from Incredible back in the day. Storm talked about that too. Yeah, Storm talked about it too. I'm sure that was like, it was like kind of a throwaway move. It wasn't like a thing. It was just like, oh, this is kind of cool, right? But it became a thing late '90s. The second thing that stuck out, and this is, you know, I'm going to say it online right now. I don't care what anybody thinks, but a lot of people watch the tapes that, you know, that were from here. Like, that's just that's my own research. People from Seattle, you know, Bless One, he had an old tape. He said, tell me who's in this tape. I went to his house. He told me, tell me who's in this tape from '92. I go, easy. I was there. I'm behind the camera. That's this guy, that guy. And like, even that tape, he was like, you know, talk about like Flip Man. Like, we knew him, or Ivan. We knew him as Flip Man. Like, I was there. You know what I'm saying? Before he had the power he did. He just did flips. You know what I'm saying? So like, so for me, it's some more evidence that we were kind of ahead of our time, but it's because of that Sidewalk tape. We had that tape before a lot of people. Like, dude, there's the three main crews that had that tape.
See, Sidewalk was the ABC Breakers.
There you go.
84, right? We're talking like
85, 84, yeah. 84, 85, yeah.
But Hawaii wasn't doing power like that is the only thing.
Yeah.
They were snappy, they were fast, they were crisp with their movements.
Yeah.
But no, they weren't doing power like that. So
nah, they had advanced combos. If you watch that video, man, they were doing stacks back in '85.
Crazy.
Like, you know, yeah, dude. Like, if you watch Style Element stuff, like, that's where they got it from. They just took it to the next level as far. But we're talking, you know, spindle flares, which is pre-air flare, not the high ones. Cradles, air baby to one arms, stuff like that. These guys were kind of doing it, you know. And I showed, like I said, I was in Taiwan I was with Flea Rock in Taiwan, and I showed him a video from YouTube, and he was like, yo, they were doing this stuff. I was like, yeah, man. Like, you know what I mean? And he was tripping, like the way that they were breaking, because it was complete. It was like power and footwork. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he even touched on that. Like, he's like, look, their top rocks are straight, and you already seen them doing power and freezes and using footwork.
Yeah.
You know, they're transitioning in and out of the different foundations. But yeah, man. I
That's
learned
crazy.
a lot today from that. I'm sure we could go into the different regions, and I know you have a good knowledge on that, on who the see of this or who the Sidewalk of this region.
Yeah, that's why it's dope. That's why, you know, this is important, because not a lot of this stuff is documented too much. You know what I mean? And you know, I had in the trades you'll see some things, but like as we go on this journey with Gearheadz, man, we're gonna break a lot of stuff down. And then everyone's gonna see this timeline family tree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And once you do, it's like it's gonna be this complete thing. I think that's one thing that's missing. What's the answer to what you're saying about, like, okay, everyone has this kind of like central style. If we could talk about the history, we could start breaking down like where certain styles come from. You know, we haven't even talked about that. And you know, I have connections to these people, right? Yeah. Like, and we'll interview them. We'll we'll let them go through the cycle of what they saw and what influenced a certain style. You know, like I've yet to talk to anyone from Canada yet. You know what I mean? The Toronto style, and like interview them anyway. Like I know personally, but to interview them and how they came up with that, it's gonna be really dope. Oh yeah, we got plans, bro. We got plans. It's all good.
So I didn't even officially ask him, but on my way to Houston, I'm gonna stop over in Lubbock. That's where Why Not is. So he's probably next, or gonna be on next week's episode. If anybody has any questions for Why Not, he's another encyclopedia. He is an educator. He is a student, and I don't have to say anything more about his receipts, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, as a dancer, just next level.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
before we wrap up, let's pull up the sponsor again.
Yep. So this is our CBD sponsored Roman over at Zen World. Look them up right there, guys. ZenWorld.com. If you have any questions, he loves to talk to you. Very, very knowledgeable. Go on ZenWorld.com. Look for the phone number. Call him up. He'll talk about anything with you. And he's, again, with CBD, he has all the lab work, everything, and he will get you set with everything. Please use our code Gearheads. We are trying to grow. This is a sponsorship here. Big mahalos to Roman.
Yep. Yeah, shout out to Roman. All right. So any last words before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, other than that, continue to support us individually. You know, I'm running BTR Break-In. Profo is a battler, a instructor, a mentor. He also sells jump ropes. You know, follow him right here at the banner at the bottom right here. You can find us and subscribe, guys. Tell your friends.
Right here.
Yep.
So yeah, remember, subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell for notifications for any and more stuff that we're gonna come out. We're probably gonna start doing tutorials on the shorts, whatever little random things, just to kind of keep you guys, you know, informed of what we do and our future shows and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Cool.
So
aloha kako, everybody. Shee.
All right. Peace out.